You know, there's nothing like a nice walk in the countryside when you want to think things through. And I just don't get it. How can an American Secretary of State say, you just don't, in the 21st century, behave in 19th century fashion by invading another country on completely trumped up pretext? That's what is said about Russia with the Crimea, where they haven't invaded it. But what about Iraq, where America launched a massive invasion that's killed hundreds of thousands of people on completely trumped up pretext that Saddam had weapons of mass destruction, when he was told quite clearly that there weren't any? Doesn't make sense to me. But they did it. I think it was for oil, but that wasn't the reason they gave. When they invaded Afghanistan, that was a sovereign state. But they invaded it and were still there. Loads and loads of people getting killed. Libya, that was a sovereign state. They were no threat to anybody else. Might not have liked them, but they weren't threatening to attack anybody. But we bombed the hell out of the place. What was the pretext? Can hardly remember it. We were supposed to be going there to look after civilians, and then we went and bombed the hell out of them. And then we changed the democratically elected government. Now, I think there's a lot of duplicity in that. I don't think America's in a position to preach to anybody about, in the 21st century, behaving in 19th century fashion on trumped up pretext. But you're not going to get that from the BBC. You're not going to get that from ITV or from Sky. I've watched them. They're not saying much about Senator John McCain, who had ambitions to be president in America, going and standing in the middle of Kiev, addressing thousands of people and saying, "This is your moment," as he was inciting them to overthrow a democratically elected government in Ukraine and house the democratically elected president, and then start supporting those that have taken over that haven't been democratically elected. I can't understand that. And then he says, "The world is with you. America is with you. I am with you." And then they try to pretend that they haven't been interfering in the Ukraine, and they're telling Russia not to interfere in the Ukraine. Seems incredible, especially when you think that in the east of Ukraine there's a big Russian-speaking population and a big Russian population who don't like what's going on in the west of Ukraine, because let's face it, the people that have taken over in the west of Ukraine are fascists. There's a history of fascism in the west of Ukraine. They actually supported Hitler when he invaded Russia. They were on his side. No wonder people don't like them. I think Putin has every right to say, "I'm going to protect Russian-speaking people and Russians in the east of Ukraine." We did the same with the Falklands. When we went out there and invaded the Falklands, we went to protect British people in the Falklands. What's the difference? What's the difference between that and Russia saying it will protect its people? Russia's got a 2,000 kilometre border with the Ukraine. Tell you what it's all about. This is how I worked it out when I walk round here. It's all about America and the West wanting to increase their influence right up to the borders of Russia and get Ukraine into NATO, so they can plant nuclear weapons in the Ukraine and threaten Russia with them. That's what it's about. If there is a completely trumped up pretext, it's not coming from Russia. Not the way I work it out. No. It's coming from America and Britain and the European Union. It stinks to the eye, Evan. And another thing, when is America going to stop sending drones into Pakistan? I mean, apart from it being a cowardly way of doing it, they're killing men, women and children. That seems like 19th century fashion to me. And Pakistan's a sovereign state. I don't know. William Hague's gone over to meet them dictators that's taken over in Ukraine, talking to them. John Kerry's going today. He's going to be talking to them as well. They're not elected. I don't know. Don't work out to me that. But there you go. And then they're telling Russia they've got to keep out. I can't fathom it out. I can't figure it. But there you go.